It was said, this is simple, this is simple.
Hi everybody! This week I'm having some afterthoughts about my coming out video, or when I filmed my coming out video last week I kept thinking about some stuff, so I want to talk to you about this this week. When I started filming my coming out video, I thought about telling you guys about me not being a girly girl. I thought it was part of my story, of my sexual awakening. But then I was like, no, because that has nothing to do with my sexuality. I've seen some coming out videos of others, and I've seen some people talking about it. But it's a little weird, because me not wanting to wearing dresses when I was younger, like 3 or 4, has nothing to do with my sexuality, because at that time I wasn't aware of my sexuality yet. I, was 3, so I wasn't thinking about, oh, who do I want to sleep with, a guy or a girl? No. And also, I didn't want to play with dolls, but, it doesn't have anything to do with my sexuality and who I want to have sex with. I know a lot of people make the mistake, and I think a lot of it is related to our gender roles, and the dichotomy in that, like, there's only two, you have a man or a woman, but I think that thought is outdated, or I think we should start seeing things differently in that department. But I think that's a subject for another video, so I leave it at this. Yeah, so you have the man and the woman, and they're together in a relationship, like if you want to conform to the norm. And I think that thought is in our minds and in our culture and stereotypes and ideas of how everything should be organized. But I don't think it's like that. And there's been research amongst gay couples, like men and women, and the thing about, who of you is the man or who of you is the woman in the relationship, it was, they found out it wasn't the case. Like household chores were divided equally amongst both partners. So it might be a relationship where you have somebody who's more feminine than the other one, but it's not said to be. It's not like it's always like that. So I think it's stupid to relate the two things together. So that's why I didn't talk about it in my coming out video. Certainly connected and related to that topic is the next thing I want to talk about, and that's people assuming your sexuality and saying, like, when you come out to people, saying like, oh yeah, I always knew you were gay. Okay, how could you know? For example, some people in my surroundings were like, oh yeah, well, I expected it. But, when I asked when they did expect already, it was before I even thought about my sexuality. So I think it's impossible. And why should you? I think the best thing to do is to just ask somebody, like, okay, what's the deal? Do you like boys, girls, whoever? Because you can't, how can you know? On what ground will you say, like, oh, he's gay? And I've been doing this in the past as well, but recently I've been thinking about it, and it's a totally wrong thing to do. So if you want to know if somebody is gay, just ask them. I think that's the best option. And the whole, I thought about it and I already guessed you were gay. Well, maybe you can ask them why. Why would you assume I was gay? And let's see what they come up with. I think that's an interesting one. I'm going to do that. If people, I don't know, I won't have to talk, I think, but if people say like, okay, I assumed already, like, okay, how come? Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, and I think both these topics are important to address the stereotyping, because it has to do with stereotyping. The whole man-woman thing, and if you're not acting like a girl, like the gender role we assign to a girl, well, you know, there's something off, there's something wrong, you're not the normal girl, so okay, we can also assume you're not falling in love with a guy, which is crazy, of course. Yeah, and the assuming thing, it's also based on stereotypes, like how you look, how you act, what things you do, what things you like. But yeah, it's the categorization of things you should like, what's normal, and if we forget about the whole thing, like categorization and stereotyping, people can be who they are. And yeah, I think that's a better place to be in than to judge everybody and, have thoughts about everybody. Will be a lot quieter in everybody's head as well. If you're not have to be concerned about what somebody else is doing or feeling, or Wow, this was a short one, but last week was a very long video, so I think that's okay. I hope you can connect to what I just said, and maybe you have other opinions or thoughts about it. If you do and you want to tell me about them, I'd be happy to read about it. So you put them in the comments, and hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you next week. Have a good week, everybody. Bye.
It was said, this is simple, but it's complicated.